In 1931, Gandhi went to Great Britain to attend the Round Table Conference. This was a political meeting concerning the rights of India. In Great Britain, he stayed in the poorest hostels in the worst parts of town. He met with textile mill workers and gained their favor. He was even invited to tea at Buckingham Palace. He wore his hand-spun clothing to this meeting, and when asked later about it, said that the king was wearing enough clothes for both of them. After the conference, Gandhi returned to India and was almost immediately imprisoned, along with 30,000 other Indians. He soon came to understand that India's people must be united. All social and class borders must be broken down. He once fasted for the rights of India's second-class Hindus, known as the untouchables, to worship in the same temples as the wealthier Hindus. He succeeded in this, and all classes of Hindus were united in temples, around dinner tables, and all over India. Gandhi spent most of the 1930s traveling around India, speaking to the people, helping his ever-increasing group of followers to purify themselves and then work on the rest of the world. Huge prayer meetings were common at which Gandhi spoke on subjects such as healthcare, reorganization, building of small businesses, and land ownership. In 1939, World War II broke out across Europe. Gandhi urged Indian people not to take part in the violence of war. As a result, many Indians were arrested and imprisoned for their defiance. In 1942, Gandhi started a new campaign aimed at Indian independence and uniting all religions together. He was soon imprisoned again and, in protest, fasted nearly to death. A few years later, in 1944, Gandhi's wife, Kasturba, passed away while in prison. He was completely distraught with his wife's death. It was during this terrible time in his own life that India was falling into more terrible times of her own. Strained relations by the Hindus and Muslims of India compounded the sorrows that arose in Gandhi's own life. The trouble between these two religious sects was escalating in the light of the newfound Indian self-reliance and the hope that India might one day be free. Throughout India, the Muslims and Hindus began to square off, and the Muslims demanded that they be given their own country. This country would be named Pakistan. Gandhi was sad to see his homeland suffer such divisions. He taught unity, but the people were not unified. He was still not swayed from his pursuit of Indian independence. Despite widespread controversy, the last Viceroy of India, Lord Mountbatten, declared Pakistan its own country in 1947. In this same year, India won its independence from Great Britain through peaceful, non-violent methods. On August 15, 1947, India was finally free. Yet the violence between Muslims and Hindus continued. Gandhi, who was living in Calcutta, declared again that he would fast to death if the violence did not stop. He wanted the Muslims and Hindus united in peace. The message that Gandhi preached of nonviolence was slowly being lost for the moment, but not forever. On January 30th, 1948, Gandhi was assassinated while walking to his daily prayer meeting in the garden of Birla House. A Hindu fanatic approached him in a crowd, bowed to him, and shot him 3 times until he was dead. India grieved for Gandhi. Never had it needed his leadership more. His presence had left them, but his message would endure. Gandhi had succeeded in freeing India and its people without the use of violence or oppression. An elaborate funeral was held. Gandhi's body was visited by thousands of Indians. His few possessions were gathered together. In the Hindu tradition, these objects would be burned along with the body of Gandhi in a huge funeral pyre. His ashes were then led in a procession to the water, where they were taken by boat out into the sea and scattered upon the waves.